Hello everybody, how's it going? And welcome back to another video about Assassin's Creed Syndicate. In this video, what I've got for you is some of the gameplay features, but also a lot about the story and the information behind the characters, so obviously Jacob and Evie, and how that kind of works with both of those, and what their backstory is, and what the story of Syndicate is going to be. So we're going to hop right into this, and I'll give you guys all the information that I have for you in this video. So Jacob and Evie were born in Crawley, a rustic borough just under 30 miles from the city of London. They're both raised as assassins, and at the start of Assassin's Creed Syndicate, they are newcomers to London, and you'll discover the city alongside them, learning its dangers and its advantages in tandem, and mastering industrial technology. So when you start the game, you're new to the city, as well as the characters. So that's going to be pretty interesting, to be at the same level as the characters. So you know about the assassins, and they know about the assassins, and you're learning about London and the new skills together, which means that means some of the skills that they learn will be part of the story, and not just like, oh, you can buy it through this menu. So that is really cool, because that's something that I wanted in my like top 10 things for Assassin's Creed Victory, when it was called Victory. So that's really cool to see that is something they're bringing back in this game. So each of the siblings each has their own skill tree. So hopefully it's actually a tree and not just like a menu of options like it was for Arno in Assassin's Creed Unity. Hopefully they have a proper skill tree and they really refine it in this game, because it can work really, really well, but it needs to be done right. Like most of the RPGs out there, the skill tree for Skyrim is perfect. That has a perfect skill tree. The skill tree for the Witcher games, those skill trees are pretty cool too. The way they did it in Unity just didn't seem to work, so hopefully they fix that in Syndicate for Jacob and Evie. And I wonder if they have the same skills, or whether they'll have a different skill tree. So do they have it, like, I mean, obviously they both have their own skill tree, but will they be different skill trees from each other? So Evie has a certain skills you can buy, and Jacob has certain skills you can buy, but they won't be the same on each skill tree, or will it just be the same skill tree and you can just choose different paths with each of them? Who knows? I mean, you guys think in the comment section below. The game begins in 1868 in London at the height of the Industrial Revolution, close to the era's end. So it starts to at the height of the Industrial Revolution, really close to the end of the era, in 1868. So if anything else cool happens in 1868, don't forget to leave it in the comments. But that is the year that this game starts. It doesn't say that it ends there or takes place there. It starts in that era, that year, sorry. So will it end? How long do you think it's going to last for? Will we see it like 30 years like Ezio? Will it just be like 5 or 10? Who knows? We'll find out when we play the game. There's a quote here that says, "We are leaving behind the medieval era." So I don't think that's forever. I think that's just for this game. Then they go on to say, "I think it's a good pace breaker in the line, since it allows us to bring a lot more maturity and a lot more freshness to the gameplay and storytelling that we're going to do." And I completely don't get that, because there's nothing really more. You can't get more mature than like chopping someone's head off and putting it on a spike. Like, that's not childish, is it? But I think I understand what they're saying, and I think after this game, they literally can't go any further forward. So they are going to have to go back, and I really, really hope after this game we see somewhere way in the past and it takes it really, really fresh, rather than these like constant like 17th, 18th, 19th century games we're having. No. 18th, 19th century games we're having. Yeah, so let's, yeah. Victorian London was always under construction, and so will be Syndicate's London, so it'll be the same, obviously. Players will see the first pieces of London's subway being built, unpaved streets, and unfinished buildings, so it is right at the start kind of when London's kind of always being constructed. You can see all these things happening, and obviously, you're going to play for, like, throughout the game, and nothing's going to change. We just know that's not going to happen. Like, it'd be cool to think, oh, by the end of the game, you'll see the subway being finished, or this building will be finished, but that's never going to happen. So, unfortunately, that probably won't be in the game, but it'd be cool. It would be pretty cool. The streets are full of carriages only, with the foot traffic regulated to the sidewalks. Developers have worked to painstakingly create Syndicate's London with the look and behaviour of a real 1868 London. So, people only walk on the path, and if they want to cross the road, obviously they go across the road, but you don't see people just wandering in the middle of the road, which is pretty cool, actually. Because obviously in previous games people have always wandered in the road because there's no reason not to, because they just can. But in this game there's proper roads, so the pedestrians just won't walk in the roads, and that's pretty cool to see. Probably going to be a fuck ton of glitches because they're using Unity's engine, but let's hope not. Let's hope they do it well, and we'll see what happens. So, Dickens and Darwin will both be present in Assassin's Creed Syndicate. Obviously, we know that. We have seen the piece of DLC that has been clearly announced for the special editions of the game, and it's going to be interesting to see how that turns out. It sounds ridiculous, but it might be pretty good. We'll find out when we play the game. The British pound sterling is the currency that the world revolves around, with London itself representing the pinnacle of what humanity can achieve, which sounds pretty cool. But yeah, the currency in this game is going to be the pound, obviously. just like it was in Assassin's Creed 3. So that's the currency in the game. There's not really much else that I can say about that. The franchise will continue its tradition of weaving famous historical figures into its narrative. So like you had Leonardo da Vinci, there was like Benjamin Franklin. So in this game, that won't change, and we're going to have some cool historical figures. So that'll be interesting to see who they decide to include other than Charles Darwin and Charles Dickens. Who do you guys think they'd include, and who do you want them to include from the Victorian era? Because you guys always have good ideas, so let's see what you guys think. The world of the wealthy and privileged is not the world you'll be part of in Assassin's Creed Syndicate. As impoverished twins, Jacob and Evie fry, and players will get to know the opposite side of society's coin, the seedy underbelly of London. So you won't be seeing any of the rich parts of London, which is kind of a disappointment that it's all going to be taking place in these horrible, dirty, poor streets. Because really you'd love to see a bit of the rich parts of London, and they probably should have included it in the game just to explore, but God knows. Tell me what you guys think about that decision in the comments section below. During the Industrial Revolution, people moved out of the countryside into London in droves looking for work. They went there as young as 4 years old, and many kept 12-hour work days. Wow. The average lifespan of a worker was 30 years old, and the infant mortality rate was so high some didn't even bother to name their children, which is ridiculous. So there's going to be a shit ton of random children in this game. I wonder if you better go up on like rooftops and see like the kids cleaning chimneys and shit. That'd be kind of cool. And then you can like glitch them off the building and murder them. I didn't say that. Moving on. Clara is the little girl that we saw in the tavern. And that's where Jacob and Evie host their home. So it's kind of like the cafe theatre. So Jacob and Evie, their home is the tavern we saw at the beginning of the gameplay demo. And Clara was the little girl that came to Jacob, and she serves as their informant, feeding them information and rumours on the enemies of the assassins. So obviously feeds them information about the Templars or anything else that Jacob might need to know. She is the one that will give you the information. Henry Green is an Indian immigrant to London, so we saw him at the beginning of the gameplay demo as well, and he is the leader of the city's assassins, which is pretty sweet. Something's telling me he's going to end up dying, but who knows? He probably will. There's a high chance that might happen. There was no World War or Civil War going on at the time, and for all intents and purposes, life during that time was generally free of combat. The gang wars were a result of unrest in this time of peace, but they were nothing compared to the power struggle between other countries. So that is cool, the fact that there's not going to be a shit ton of random war happening in the middle of the game. The game will revolve around the story of Jacob and Evie, and it won't be too heavily centered around a war that's going on in the background, like the French Revolution or like the American Revolution. It should be pretty cool and a good change of pace from those games. So, you guys have all wanted to know about the top hat. Can you remove it? Can you change it? Whatever. I still don't know whether you can or not, but this says, while roaming this city, he completes his assassin look with a fancy top hat. Only when he's heading into a mission does that hat come off and the iconic beaked hood come up. So, from that, like, I don't think you can. I think he's always going to have the top hat, and then when you go into, like, a restricted area or you go into a mission, then he puts on the hood. You guys are probably going to be disappointed. A lot of you are probably going to be disappointed. I'm kind of disappointed that you don't have the freedom to do it. I wouldn't have done it, but I'm disappointed that there isn't the choice. Like even if that is like, even if the default thing, which is the top hat and then the hood in combat and stuff, even if that's the default thing, I would have picked that. But I'm disappointed that I don't have the choice not to pick that, which is something that they definitely should have put in the game to allow people, if they want to wear a hood, they can wear a hood. Why should they not be able to? Because you just allow them. Just why not? You need that choice in the game. They've wanted to stay away from the romance in the game, so that's why they've done the brother and sister story instead of like some like romantic thing like they had with Arno and Elise. Is because a lot more people connect with that, which is why they've done it. And you don't need a chance to like explain how Arno has all this affection for Elise. All you have to do is say that Jacob and Evie are brother and sister, and immediately everyone just knows. They can just like visualize that, and it's kind of more relatable for a lot of people. So that's why they've decided to do that, as opposed to the romantic thing which they did with Arno and Elise. Having Jacob and Evie allows us to explore the story from different sides, and it's two different personalities that bounce off each other, and it should freshen up the storytelling, is what he said. Currently, Ubisoft has only shared details on Jacob, and there will be more information about Evie revealed this summer at E3, which is pretty sweet. Can't wait to find out more about the other character, and hopefully see some gameplay at E3, because that is going to be pretty cool to see how Evie works. So thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video about the story and gameplay aspects of Assassin's Creed Syndicate. If you guys want to stay up to date on all the Assassin's Creed Syndicate information, then be sure to subscribe right here on this channel. We are very close to 10,000, which is pretty sweet. If you guys could hit that subscribe button, that would absolutely mean the world to me. Obviously, smack that like button if you enjoyed the video, and comment down in the comment section below if you have anything to add about any of the points that I've mentioned during this video. And that is the end of the video. So I'll see you later, guys. I hope you all have a good day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye! Charge over the hills, but these cities had enough. But if we turn and fight, does it almost feel like we will?